I still remember going to bed at night thinking, are they going to kill us tonight or tomorrow night? And as a child, that takes a lot from you. We were hostages for 2 months, not knowing whether we'd survive that. There were 6 of us, so mum and dad and my siblings, and we left with a tiny suitcase at the time. For many, many years, I never really told my story. Many years I never told people where I've come from, or I tried to always shied away from saying that I'm an Arab.
Sara Murdock was born during the Iran and Iraq War. As a child, she lived through conflict. She was held hostage in northern Iraq for 2 months and was smuggled out at 12, arriving in Australia just after turning 13. Today, she's been named the Victorian Pharmacist of the Year, and Australian Pharmacist of the Year, and most recently, the International Pharmacist of the Year. This episode unpacks life behind those titles, the survival, the pressure, and the meaning she's built along the way as she chased her dreams.
If you could share this with Dahlia to help her reproduce, if not, supersede you or surpass you in achievement, but do it in half the time. Maybe when she's 21 years old, she gets to reap in all the glory. What would you share with her?
I often say don't shrink to fit in. Like, for me, I feel like for so long...
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Point 01. Today, we have a very special individual on the show, Sara Murdock. She's here all the way from Melbourne. So let's get straight into this episode. All righty. You flew up this morning. Yes. Sara, I actually met when I was in China about 2 months ago now, I think, or about a month ago. And we got along quite well, and I didn't realize what an exceptional person she was.
Oh, thank you.
And to give you a brief introduction on who Sara is before we dive into a bit about her background and all of that sort of stuff. Sara is the Victorian Pharmacist of the Year, also the National Australian Pharmacist of the Year, and then also just recently awarded the International Pharmacist of the Year as well.
Extremely humbling.
Yeah, that's very cool. So someone who's very, very, very well respected in the industry of pharmaceuticals and, pharmacy. So I think that'll be a very, very interesting topic, because there's always been a debate amongst even my peers in the health space, amongst all the people out there for things to do with medication, pharmacy practices and all of those sort of things. And I'm sure you share your own opinion on that as well. So we'll discuss a little bit about, the state of healthcare and all of that sort of stuff down the line. But for those of the people out there who don't know you, Sara, what's your kind of story? I know you have a very, very interesting background yourself, and it hasn't always been an easy life for you. So you've had a very, very interesting past. What's that been like? Do you want to share a little bit of your story, introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, well, hello. We met at Canton Fair, right?
We did.
That was incredible. Yeah, so I guess you could say a life of reinventing yourself. Over the years, I've come from a war-torn country, Iraq, where I was born during Iran-Iraq War. And then we had the Gulf War. Following the Gulf War, my parents made the decision that we needed to leave the country. It was very hard for them and for us to leave where we're raised, and you can imagine friends and family and home and school and everything you've ever known. But I guess it doesn't matter in terms of how much you have or what you've got when you don't have that sense of safety. And when your life is on the line, that's when I think you've just given no option, really. I still remember going to bed at night thinking, are they going to kill us tonight or tomorrow night? And as a child, that takes a lot from you.
How old were you when the wars were going on?
I was born during Iran-Iraq War, 1982, and then the Gulf War started in the 90s. I think it was 91.
So probably about 8 years old, 10 years old.
Yeah, when the Gulf War started, and then we left Iraq in 1995. I was 12, turning 13.
Wow.
Yeah, we got held hostages in the northern part of Iraq for 2 months. So when I arrived in Australia, we were smuggled out when I was 12. And when we arrived, I just turned 13 and 1 month.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're a hostage.
We were hostages for 2 months, not knowing whether we'd survive that. Even the people who smuggled us out used to work for the government.
Oh my God.
And at the time, they kept asking Dad for his papers and ID. And there were 6 of us, so Mum and Dad and my siblings, and we left with a tiny suitcase at the time. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we had to be smuggled out again from northern Iraq, got to Turkey, and within 7 days we ended up on a plane to Australia.
Wow.
Our days were literally numbered then. So 2 of my dad's colleagues were murdered, one inside Iraq, one outside of Iraq, because he was trying to escape as well. Mm-hmm. And as a result, most of our family members had to leave the country.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Very
it was
intense.
really scary. Very scary.
Were they powerful or political or businessmen? Why were they sort of targeted during the war?
While we were targeted.
You guys, your dad's friends?
Yeah, because they are, Saddam at the time said that no intelligent person can leave the country, and if you're not a part of that world and the corruption, then you're always a target.
Interesting.
And my dad is an ethical man, very intelligent man. 2 patents in Iraq, 2 patents in Australia.
What sort of patents?
He in the chemical engineering space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very intelligent. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but it was also hard for someone who's as accomplished as he was to leave his companies, his properties, literally everything, and start from zero at the age of 40 with 4 kids.
That's incredibly difficult.
It was very hard. Then, you come to a new country. We were very grateful to be able to be granted asylum in Australia. Mm-hmm. And it is such a quick visa as well. Like within 3 days, they put us on a plane and brought us here.
Do you think that was because of your father's intellectual background?
It was because of that, and because they knew that we were being watched. And they did say at the time, you were not safe here in Turkey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Must have been so intense. 13 years old. Very traumatic.
Yeah, very traumatic. And also, you come here, you leave what you know to a new country. You don't know the language, the culture.
So when you came here, you didn't know English, nothing when you came?
We study English from the age, from grade 5.
Okay.
But you study it like we learn trousers. You learn words and then slowly learn sentences, but not to the point where you can converse. So we had to go and we went to Blacktown actually to an intensive English centre.
In Sydney?
In Sydney.
Oh, so you were in Sydney first?
Yeah, Sydney first for 2 years. We got told we had to go to Blacktown. Evans High School, I think it was called, where I was followed and bashed and bullied. In
Sydney.
Yeah, and then I had to change schools because it was a terrible environment. And then after being in Sydney for 2 years, we went to Albury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that Dad could work in his engineering field.
Did you see that you got a lot of racial vilification when you came to Sydney because of your background, or was it just because it was very high tension during that time?
It was probably just a mix of everything. Yeah. Racial background, new people on the block. I don't actually know why I was picked on. I still don't know anything about that person, in terms of her name. It was a girl.
Yeah.
But I got bullied in the playground anyway. I got called all sorts of different names.
Because you were the new kid.
I was a new kid. I was also very smart. So in Iraq, education is really good. So I was answering questions in the classroom without using a calculator, for example. So I got picked on. I don't know. Kids can be mean.
I can imagine.
And then moving to the country doesn't help, because at the time in 1998, you stand out as an ethnic in a small town like Albury.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, and you're different. So books became my friends.
Well,
I used to read at the library during recess and lunchtime, after school. Yeah, it helped with my English. I still can't pronounce certain words till today.
Don't worry, I'm Chinese. I can't pronounce certain words either.
I've embraced the way I pronounce things, and embraced being different. Whereas for many, many years, I never really told my story. Many years I never told people where I've come from, or I tried to always shied away from saying that I'm an Arab or I'm a Muslim, or, you know, like I always felt like we instantly became second class citizens once you mentioned where you're from or
People look at you differently straight away.
They do, yeah, they do. You know, oh, you're Muslim. You don't look like how a Muslim should look like, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, what are we meant to look like? We're all normal people. But I was raised in a household where they accepted everyone from all different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, regardless if you were atheist or Jewish or Christian, our doors were always open for everybody. Yeah. And we literally in Albury got together. I think Albury was good for us in the sense that I find sometimes certain races in the city stick with each other, and I understand why as well, because it is difficult when you leave your country and you leave your people and leave everyone and everything you know. So you come here and you want to feel like you belong, right? But Albury forced us to be more open-minded, I guess, and to mingle and mix with everybody that we could be friends with.
That's fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like 30 years ago, right, or 20 odd years ago, because right now, I mean, racial tensions are probably at its all-time highest it's ever been.
It's been quite upsetting actually this week.
Yeah, it has, especially for those who know what's happened in Sydney this week. It's been pretty shocking what's happened in Bondi, and you know, obviously that's triggered a lot of hate towards certain races and certain beliefs and religions. And I think that sort of division is exactly what the system is kind of looking for. And, you know, we won't touch into any conspiracies or anything like that, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're all humans and we have different beliefs. And I think a lot of people are just scared of the unknown, or they're scared of things they don't truly understand, or they've been taught a certain way of thinking that they don't challenge or explore. So, yeah, I mean, we as people kind of just need to see each other as people more. 100%. I think Australia is a country that does it well, but not amazingly well, right? There is still always going to be racism down deep down. I cop it as well, being Chinese all the time. You can see it on social media. So social media is just a cesspool of shit sometimes, and it happens. So I can't even imagine what it was like 30 years ago, you know, being a refugee, coming to a country where you didn't speak the language, and then getting bashed at school is crazy. And just prior to being bashed at school, you were literally a hostage, you know, being held at gunpoint.
Yeah, it was really hard. I think there's a lot of trauma there, you know, when you live and wake up to the sound of bombing and missiles and uncertainty. You come here and you don't, like my dad used to say, walls have got ears. So you're always careful what you say, because if you said the wrong thing, you could get killed.
Yeah.
And then you come here and you have that issue with trust, because, you know, it takes time to get over the trauma,
of course,
of a war-torn country. But then bad things happen at school or in communities, or you get made to feel you're not good enough despite your qualifications. Like my dad at the time was told, forget about your qualifications, work as a taxi driver. And nothing wrong with taxi drivers, but he's a very intelligent man, very well accomplished, and can do a lot in this country with his degree. But
absolutely, that's
what he was told. And he's the type, and I think that's where I get it from, where if I'm told that I can't do something, it fuels my fire.
Yeah,
it makes me want to do it even more.
Yeah.
So many, and I think this is why I'm so driven even when it comes to pharmacy, because there's been so many times in my pharmacy career where I was told that I am not good enough because I'm a female, or I'm not good enough because I have young children, or I'm a single mum. And I mean,
and look at you now, right? International Pharmacist of the Year. There you go. Some big awards.
It's a very big responsibility, you know, because it means you've got to continue serving and growing and be of service to the vulnerable who need us, and mentoring the ones who are coming through. But I take it on, and, you know, it's an incredible honour. And yes, I am proud of that as well, because I've been told that I can't for so long.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be, you know, probably shouldn't be saying that, you know, like an ex-husband who tells me that I can't do something.
Hey, there's been a lot of stories. There's been a lot of stories like this, you know. We've had a lot of guests come on the show where whether it's a dad, whether it's an ex-husband, whether it's a partner that hasn't been so much in agreement to them, and then
Yeah,
that
then
fuels
makes
their fire.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm very lucky that my dad has always said my daughters will be well educated and well traveled. He's always supported us learning. He used to always say they can take anything away from you, but they can't take away your knowledge.
It's true.
Yeah, and always made me believe that the world is my oyster, and I teach my daughter and my son the same thing. But yeah, I mean, life, you don't know who comes your way and at what stage in life they come in your, do you know what I mean? It could be in your 20s when you think you're in love and vulnerable, and they end up being bad for you, but
Shit happens.
shit happens.
Shit happens. We choose the wrong people. You know, it happens. It happens.
But crop that.
It's all lessons. It's all lessons.
Yeah.
But it all makes up a part of us, right? I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's a failed relationship or a bad partner, they all make up who we are today. And I think no doubt like that definitely contributed towards your success as well.
I am grateful for
You know?
being bashed. I'm grateful for the bad experiences. I'm grateful for my divorce, because I look back and I think of all the life lessons I've learned. And no university degree really gives you that. And to make sure, you know, you remain humble and kind, and you still give back to your community and to people around you. You know, my biggest achievement today is my children. Yeah, they're my biggest achievement, seeing them healthy, happy and achieving at school. You know, Dali was awarded 3 scholarships this year. How many
Wow.
kids get offered 3 scholarships at 3 different private schools?
Wow.
Not many.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She's such a little bully to us. I watch her bully you on your content all the time.
She's the only person who's allowed to bully me. She
I
calls
know.
it roasting, right?
I know, she
I'm gonna
roasts
roast
you.
and she does it in such a good way.
She is. She's actually quite witty. So that's,
Yeah.
that's wittiness is definitely a really good sign of intelligence. So
You know, some days I
She's got
wonder
it.
who the parent is in this
Yeah.
relationship.
I know.
Yeah. So I think I've done a good job with her. She's very driven. She wants to go to Oxford University before she even decided on her high school,
Yeah.
and has picked me the aged care facility.
Yeah, I know. She's picked you the nursing home to send you to already. She's already known. She has her plans.
Yeah, she's got plans
how
and
funny.
things. Yeah, and my son is a sweet soul. He is painting 100 canvases and putting an exhibition for next April to raise
Wow.
money for sick children.
That's so nice.
And he's inviting the local schools as well as community groups to be a part of it.
So he's a creative.
He's very creative. He loves maths and art.
Yeah,
It's a
wow.
very strange combination, but yeah, he's very passionate about his maths and his painting.
Oh, good for him.
And he said that because he had to go to Royal Children's Hospital one time, he was unwell, and he said, I saw a lot of sick children and I just wanted to find a way to give back.
Wow.
Yeah, which is big for a kid in grade 3. Yeah.
That is massive.
Yeah.
That's definitely very, very special of him. How was your journey like going through, you know, schooling and the schooling system here in Australia? I know obviously, like you mentioned before, when you went to high school you were bashed and all of that. How else was the rest of your journey going through university? Did you face a lot of racial discrimination? You know, when you moved down to Melbourne versus Sydney, what sort of kind of difference was that as well?
School was hard, as I mentioned. I did not enjoy school, but the thought of going to university and leaving Albury used to put a smile on my face and used to fuel my hunger for more knowledge, and I wanted to achieve well. Going to university was incredible. It was exactly what I needed.
Where'd you go to university, Melbourne?
Monash University in Melbourne. Yeah, it was amazing, bringing so many different people together, different nationalities, and the education was phenomenal. I failed first year though.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I felt first year too. First year was so hard.
It was more, not because it was hard. Look, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to be a doctor. And when I got 98.3 and I topped the States in Arabic and got Premier's Award and didn't get into medicine, I was very disheartened.
You got 98.3 ATAR?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I know for someone who spoke English second language, I'd only been in the
That's
country
pretty good.
not that long, 5 years.
Yeah.
1995, and I finished high school in 2000.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to get that high, but I was very grateful and happy with myself. I guess that's what happens when you spend recess and lunchtime and after school in the library.
That's
right?
true. That's true. The books being your friends makes it a lot easier for you to memorize all the English essays you got to write.
Yeah. You know what? English was my worst subject.
Oh, really?
I enjoy writing now, but back then I didn't enjoy English at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, studying that much helped. I don't encourage my kids to do that. I like them to be all-rounded. I think my parents were super protective at the time, being a new country, and me being the eldest. I didn't do any sport. I didn't go to any movie, any cinema, play dates, or it probably contributed to not being able to build friendships. I don't know, but they did the best they could at the time. And university, I left home. I went to Melbourne. I was, should we call it networking?
Yeah, definitely a form of networking for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
When you're partying and studying and working 3 jobs, and I got into pharmacy through a phone call. So I did not value what I had. So failing, actually, I appreciated failing that year because it made me appreciate the degree, and repeating, I fell in love with pharmacy. I always knew I wanted to be in service. I always wanted to be in healthcare. I wanted to give back to communities. I wanted to look after people. Having grown up through war and seeing the struggles, that made me want to be in the service industry, especially healthcare. And I was glad to have repeated. Was either repeat, do well, or go roll kebabs.
Go roll kebabs.
Yeah, that was the ultimatum my dad gave me. Wow. You want to do this and pass?
Or go roll kebabs.
I'll go roll kebabs, yeah. Because they put me up in an apartment, and they bought an apartment in Melbourne for me to live in, and,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very good ultimatum.
Yeah, so I was not going to roll kebabs. Cooking is not my thing. I'll eat the food, but I'm not going to make it. Yeah, I'll eat the kebab. That's right.
Yeah, for sure. That's incredible. So when you got started in your pharmacy career, how was that like? Did you face discrimination there too? Or?
Yes, 100%. The first year out of uni, I was an intern at Wodonga Hospital, and that.
No good.
It was pretty bad. There was a girl that worked in the pharmacy department. She wasn't a pharmacist. She was a pharmacy assistant. And she was very racist. We'd be popping pills that had expired into rum bins, and she'd throw them at me saying, "Take these back to your people." Yeah, there were a lot of racist comments made, and I used to go home and cry. But I didn't know what to do because it was my internship. And I used to go to work and be very scared of what she was going to say. She was quite a big girl too. Was
she older?
Butch. Yeah, she was. I was in my 20s. She'd be probably like 30s, 40s, I think, at the time.
So very intimidating for you as well.
She was very intimidating. She was very vocal. She was very in my face. I remember even one time we were organising to go out for to celebrate something, and she had a daughter, and I said, "Oh, you're welcome to drop her off. She can play with my baby brother." And she said, "My daughter doesn't play with ethnic kids." There was many comments, and because I used to go home and cry, my dad would say, "Just write it down, put it all in a diary." And 3 months later, I was in the pharmacy department. I looked after rehab and medical wards, and I walked out of the pharmacy and I literally sobbed the whole way from the pharmacy department to the HR manager's room. I walked in. I couldn't speak. I was sobbing so much. I sat down on the chair and he looked at me and he said, "Is it Lee?"
Oh, he knew?
He knew, yeah. She'd done it to every other person before me who'd come through.
How did they let her stay then? Lack of staff or?
Yeah, I don't know. How is it too hard to discipline someone like that?
Why do we tolerate? See, that raises this question, right? And I think this is a big question right now in the media too. Is why do we tolerate this racism, right? And not just racism, but
do you think people are scared of people who are vocal?
I don't know, because think about it right now. There's a huge conversation behind anti-Semitism, right? There's also there's going to be a huge opposition to that, which is the anti-Muslim or anti-Islam. And that's going to be huge because they're two very vocal parties.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just crazy for me because we're just sitting on the sidelines essentially watching this happen, watching it unfold, because majority of people are great. Don't get me wrong. Majority of people here in Australia, they're fantastic, not racist, very welcoming.
This is why I love this
great
country
people.
so much, because you
Great
see what
people.
happened in Bondi this morning. Everyone got together in solidarity for what happened, and
Correct.
the kindness that's been shown by so many people because of what happened in Bondi. But yes, you're right. There are the minority that seem to have a very loud voice.
Yeah, which is crazy, right? Because how is it okay for someone who is a repeat offender, repeatedly racist to all the interns that come in who are ethnic, whether they're probably Middle Eastern, whether they're even Chinese, she could be racist too, or Vietnamese or whatever. There's a lot of Vietnamese pharmacists too.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
You know,
I'm pretty sure the person before me was Asian.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and
if
apparently
she's-
she copped it for a whole year
Yeah,
while
wow.
she was there. And is it because we don't report it? You know, when you think about it, 3 months is a long time. Why did I not report it earlier? Is there
Yeah.
not much awareness? Like, was I not told during my induction that if situations like that happen, make sure you report it? I didn't know what the procedure is. If my dad hadn't said to me, make sure you document it, I wouldn't have had evidence. Now, I didn't want to report her because I was scared of her. So when I went into the HR, I didn't even want to say her name because I was scared of the repercussions.
Yeah, like
and
if
what
she
she
comes
was
after
going to
you.
do. Yeah, and I said, yes, it is Lee, but please don't tell her. Then I showed him my diary.
Because I think in our head, and I've been bullied when I was younger too, and I think this is what creates a lot of the people out there who get extremely depressed, or they hate their jobs, or they hate going to school, because they're suffering in silence, you know, and you're copying a lot of this bullying, whether it's at the workplace, whether it's at home even, whether it's at school. And you're just scared to speak out because you're scared of the repercussions of what if this bully finds out? Is it going to make my life
and
hell?
what's going to happen?
Is it going to make my life even worse? And the people that you trust to defend you don't defend you.
No.
You know, whereas in this situation, even just look at what's happening in Sydney, right? You trust that the government's got it. You trust that Albo and Mins and these guys, they've got it.
We'll make the right decisions to protect you,
But they don't, you know, and right now...
I mean, we've had schools let us down. When we
Correct.
moved to Melbourne with my daughter, I've had the first school she went to, she was bullied
Correct.
quite badly, and the school let us down. So I had to change schools.
So I actually don't even think it's a big problem of like people on people issues. It's people on people is always going to have problems. We all have our differences. And for millennia, there's always been wars, there's always been fights, there's always been racism, or there's always been discrimination. There's always, and that will always,
very
for the
true.
rest of life, in perpetuity, happen.
Yeah.
But the problem is the systems that are created to try to, or designed to try and protect us,
Yeah.
just somehow never work.
Lets us down.
It just lets us down. And I think
Yeah.
people start to lose trust for that. And that's why we're in such a tumultuous period in history right now, where I think there is so much racial tension. There's so much tension in general between any different sector. And it is quite sad to see that the people we have given authority to are not the ones that are doing their best to think about what's best for everyone. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a failure from a systematic point of view.
It is the system, I think,
Right.
because everywhere you go, anywhere you look, it always stems down from your leaders.
Yeah.
What's the leadership like?
Correct.
Does the leadership empower women? Does the leadership empower ethnics? Do they allow spaces for people to grow? Do they tolerate bullying? Like, I've got zero tolerance for bullying in my workplace. And when an issue was raised around that, I addressed it immediately, and I made it very clear that there's zero tolerance to bullying, and I will not. And even if a patient comes into the pharmacy and tries to attack one of my staff, I'm very protective of my staff.
100%. As you should be, right? And,
Yeah.
and here's the problem. It's like, you went to the HR manager, but like, why was she not reprimanded?
Well, funny you say that. Actually, when I presented my diary, and lucky my dad told me to keep a record. If he hadn't, then I would have been probably just like the person before me.
Yeah.
And he looked at it, and at the time I said, please don't tell her, because I was scared of her. and he read everything and he said, this is too serious for me not to do anything about. And he
Well, that's
actually,
good.
yes, he handled it. They warned her,
Yeah.
and exactly what I expected happened. She attacked me quite badly, not physically, but verbally.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't as scared to go and report her that second time. And I had said to her, I said, you're not allowed to speak to me at all. And you are right now. And I remember the director of the pharmacy department hiding in his office while that was happening. Like, he was scared of her. And so I went and reported her, and she was given a second warning. But then they discovered, then I moved on, and then they discovered she was stealing codeine containing medication. So she eventually, I don't know where she ended up, but, you know, and I'm sure it's
What's the
happened.
punishment for that? What's the punishment for stealing codeine? Is that
You
not like
could go
illegal?
to jail.
Yeah,
like.
is that not like jail or something?
Yeah.
You're a pharmacist or a dispenser that's stealing
Yeah, whatever
medication?
it is stealing, right? So I'm sure it happens in every workplace. Well, I
Of
hope
course.
it doesn't happen in every workplace. I'm talking about the bullying side of it.
Yeah.
But I would like to think if it does happen in a workplace that people know what the process is and that they've been inducted properly to know what actions to take.
Yeah.
That would be probably the biggest message I give today.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I think most people need to realize that, you know, they should have an outlet where they can go and speak to someone at least, at the very minimum. Especially at work, you know, at school you have counsellors, you have teachers, you can go speak to them. But it's all built on trust, right? These systems are all built on trust. So
That's right,
you know, if you can't trust these authorities that you're supposed to rely on, which is the problem we're seeing right now in society, you can't trust the authorities because you don't trust that they have your best interest at heart. And they can't defend you, or they don't have the ability to defend you. And I think that is the major problem.
Yeah, we have system issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, even our court system is.
And you're from Victoria, which has huge systemic issues right now, massive.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
won't
Well,
talk
I
about
wasn't there
politics,
during COVID, but
bad.
they suffered a lot during COVID down in Victoria. They still got trauma from that.
And there's a lot of corruption, obviously, and you know, in the West, people don't talk about corruption as much as they like to label it in the Middle East, or they like to label it in China or Asia. There's so much corruption there, but they don't look to themselves. And I mean, it's everywhere. Like if you look at Victoria as an example, right? Their machete bins, which cost $13 million, which they just scrapped last month, by the way. They just binned it all. They literally binned the bins. So like,
Did they really
tested it.
cost 13 million?
Yeah, it was a couple $100K per bin.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense. I could probably make that
I
bin
could
myself
have.
for $2.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, couldn't we have brought those from China, like,
Yeah,
or
you probably
maybe
could have,
for
probably could
$10
have.
at Canton Fair?
Yeah, probably. We probably could have imported a whole container from China for like fucking $500 a bin.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, I mean, they just binned it. They got rid of it because it was a failed campaign, and they just wasted all the taxpayer money.
Oh my
And then,
God.
like, you know, here in Sydney as well, we have big issues with people with violence and crime and all the youth crimes and all that sort of stuff going on. And
yeah.
I mean,
I think the increased cost of living doesn't help either.
absolutely not. I think we're going into an era of turmoil, definitely.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely scary. It doesn't help at all that, you know, I think it all stems from how people see their workplaces, just like yourself. You know, going to work, and if you're Muslim, you're scared of being Muslim. If you're Jewish, you're scared of being Jewish. Like, what sort of world are we living in where people are scared that they're different?
Well, I
which
kept
is
my
crazy.
ex-husband's last name because I didn't want to be put in a category
Yeah.
just based on my last name.
Like, if your last name was Muhammad,
Yeah.
like, you would be looked down upon
Yes.
10 times worse.
Yeah. And what are your... I mean, imagine applying for a
job,
A job.
a title, or something.
Yeah.
And you're applying against other applicants. Sara Muhammad versus Sara Murdock.
Yeah. Two totally different people,
Completely
right?
different people.
Yeah.
Even Chinese, right? Like, I can be Alan Chen, or I can be Alan Smith. I can be the same guy, but because of how that sounds.
Yeah. This is what I always say
It's crazy.
to when I mentor young students or early career pharmacists. It's very important to be in an environment, be around people that marry up with their values.
Yeah.
And I can wholeheartedly say that I'm very blessed where I am. They've got incredible values and very supportive, even of the fact that I'm a single parent.
Yeah.
and my kids, they've grown up in the aisles of pharmacies. My kids come to meetings with me, and so it's very, very important. But it's hard when you've got to pay your bills to say, okay, this place doesn't marry up with my values, so I'm going to move on.
Correct.
And I've had to make that decision. I've walked away from a workplace. I've got 2 kids to feed, mortgage to pay, but I just couldn't stay because it did not align with my values.
And
I was scared.
So hard.
And it was very scary. It was very scary because, like my kids do a lot of sport.
Yeah.
And I've got school fees to pay. But I just had to stay true to myself and to my values and who I am and what I want to do and, achieve. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's good that you had the courage to back yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people nowadays, they don't have the courage to back themselves. And I've met a lot of people, and I've had a lot of friends who they kind of hate their workplace. It's not right for them. It's toxic. All they do is constantly bitch about their workmates or
So what's
their
stopping them,
boss.
do you think, from moving on?
I don't know. I think it's fear, definitely fear. It's like, imagine you're at a cushy job, you're making 120 grand a year, you're making 150 grand a year.
Yeah.
For you to sit there and go, you know what, fuck it. My sanity,
Yeah, it's worth
my
more than that.
peace is worth more than that, is a very, very hard trigger for people to pull.
Well, it would challenge you, right? Moving
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
and having to look for work where you're going to have to apply yourself and challenge yourself.
And you might be out of a job for 6 months.
You might be, but challenge is where growth happens. If
I
you're
agree.
cushy and you're comfortable, but your sanity is on the line, for me, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And I've literally had friends who go, I actually took a pay cut to find a job that I actually enjoyed and have fun
Yeah.
in. I'd much rather make 70, 80 grand a year
Mm-hmm.
and have a lot of fun in my job than to make 150 and just be like my boss's little minion or
Yeah.
and not enjoy my day to day. I have no growth and I'm getting bullied and it
When
happens. I
you-
think everyone's got to make that decision psychologically themselves.
And if you find the right place where they empower you, you'd be so surprised at the growth you get. And I feel that where I am, having been empowered, as a female to achieve things and be allowed to be innovative, the growth has been phenomenal. And for me, that weighs a lot more than money.
I agree. I'm a big advocate for workplace environments that are very growth orientated,
Yes.
very encouraging for a person. It might not pay as good as certain opportunities, right? Especially, there's big differences in money for people. But I think a lot of people need to realize money is not everything, even though that's extremely hard to say right now with the cost of living.
Yeah, it's important, I guess,
it's
right?
hard,
Especially
but
if
there
you're
has to be a
supporting.
balance of some sort.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm so passionate about mentoring and empowering people on a national level to have that mindset and to think of that and to think outside of that. It could be, the box they're in, whether it be a community pharmacy or an office in a pharmaceutical company, and they are either being bullied or struggling to see past that or whatever it may be. Sometimes we put those boundaries or obstacles in our heads, right? Not necessarily because you have a bad boss, but maybe you've had someone back at school tell you that you'll never be anything. You'll never, be good enough, and you believe it.
Yeah.
And it shapes the way you are at work.
Do you find the pharmaceutical industry toxic at all?
I guess that depends from one organisation to another. Pharmacy industry is, what I struggle with is the fact that, it's female-dominated industry, but leadership is mainly male.
I see.
Yeah, and this is what we're trying to change through FemRx.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
So I had no idea. I didn't know it was female dominated and then
Yeah.
male led.
yeah.
Why do you think that's the case? Is it just because there's more guys that are more
Yeah.
businessy, or is it
Probably that, and I think us women, we sometimes think, oh no, I'm not ready yet, or no, I don't know how to read P&L, so I shouldn't do that yet, or oh no, I don't, being on a board, for example,
Yeah.
I think we think twice about it, whereas a guy would jump in and say, yep, I'll do it. I'll find a way to do it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we probably overthink.
Gotcha.
That could be a reason. The other reason could be what you've been led to believe. You're not good enough, or I sat through 2 hours of an interview with a very successful pharmacist who owned many pharmacies around Newcastle area. And he said to me at the end, well, too bad you're a female with young children. Otherwise, you would have been great for my pharmacies. He said it twice as well. I walked out of that interview, sat in my car, cried, and I thought to myself, I'll show you, I'll prove to you that I can be successful despite the fact that I'm a female with children.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he knew I was a female before he called me for the interview.
Yeah.
With children.
Yeah.
But I think he was just intrigued. He was impressed by my CV, and he said it. He said, your CV is very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have been great for my businesses, but you're a female. So, but these things, they're upsetting, but they have fueled my fire in the sense of what I want to do within pharmacy and for communities. Like for me, I thrive on giving back to the community and improving health literacy.
Yeah.
I get so much joy out of it, and hence why even now on my socials, I do a lot of educational talks.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's very good. From a pharmacy point of view, what would you say is like where you spend most of your time? Are you more like an actual pharmacist, practicing pharmacist, or are you in pharmacy, or are you running pharmacy businesses, or are you doing more education, like trying to build your own platform? What are you doing?
A mix of all the above and more.
Okay, right.
Yeah, especially like the way we've set the pharmacy up in Melbourne too. It's very different to your traditional pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
The pharmacist is the first person you see when you walk in and the last person that you see when you walk out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have shop assistants or pharmacy assistants as such.
Mm-hmm.
Our model is very different. Our pharmacists are in the front of practice, well, some commonly known as front of shop, and my role it's just education, one patient at a time. Educating one patient at a time, whether it be a patient that walks through the doors who's struggling with sleep or has a common cough and cold, and their immune system is down, then I educate them about their immune health and how to sleep better and hydration, and really teaching them. So I do that in the pharmacy. I also obviously lead my team, so I organise training, mentoring, troubleshooting a lot of the times when you're running a business. And a part of my role is also working with community groups, whether it be the local schools, the neighbourhood house, the Rotary Club, GPs and other healthcare professionals to improve access to patients, educate patients, do vaccination clinics. I like doing health talks at sporting clubs as well. Yeah. My vision is quite big, scary.
What is it? What do you want to do?
Multiple pharmacies, empowering a lot more pharmacists to be leaders. And, I've interviewed pharmacists, and at the start of the interview, I'll be like, what are you passionate about? Where do you want to be in a couple of years? And a lot of them don't know. And then working with them.
Why do you think
Because
that's the
for
case?
so many pharmacists, they've been trained to dispense behind the dispensary, check scripts, and then they give the prescription out to the pharmacy assistant to hand out to the patient. They may counsel the patient, but most of the times it's a repeat script, and they may not, they've been overworked as well.
So they're like robots, essentially.
If you're a part of a discount model as well, it's a totally different concept where training and service is not really a huge part of that.
Yep.
So it's about turnover. So therefore you are a bit like a robot, checking scripts, handing them out. And so it's very common in Melbourne, like in Victoria.
Yeah.
I've met incredible pharmacists as well, don't get me wrong, but when you've been doing that for so many years, you don't know what you're passionate about because you don't know what you're capable of doing beyond the dispensary. And I've always said a pharmacist role extends beyond the pharmacy doors. So it's incredible when you meet someone and they don't know what they're passionate about, and then a year down the track, they are excelling in a specific area like sleep apnea, or they are leading vaccination clinics, or they're becoming incredible integrative health pharmacists. That I just want to do more of that. I want to be able to inspire pharmacists to specialize, and because you help empower one pharmacist, that pharmacist has a huge impact on their community.
I agree.
Right? Yeah.
So help me understand this, right? I don't come from the pharmacy profession. I have a lot of friends that are pharmacists.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a pharmacist, my perception of it is that you're the person that obviously checks the scripts, make sure the scripts are right, make sure the medication is at the right dosage or whatever it is.
Yes.
And you dispense that to...
You make sure there's no interactions with your current
Yep.
medications.
And that's the pharmacist's main job, right? Or is there more
Part
to
of
it
it.
that I don't know?
Yeah, no, you're correct. You're on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't dispense where
Yeah.
I am as such, unless there's no one else dispensing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a dispensary assistant that does, but we check that you've got the right medication, right dose, right format, right form. Sorry. Is it a mixture for a child? How much does a child weigh? How long do they take it for?
So you're double checking what the doctor's
Correct, and there's
theory
been
or hypothesis is.
yeah,
essentially.
we're double checking what that they've been given the right medication at the right dosage.
Yeah,
and there's
right.
been times when we rang, a lot of times actually, we ring the doctor and say, hold on, this interacts, or this isn't available, but this is the alternative, or this is the wrong dosage, because we're just as liable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. There you
yeah.
go.
And what's more exciting is that recently in Victoria, there's been an announcement that the increased scope of practice is happening in Victoria for 22 different conditions.
Which is great.
It's great because it's going to provide people timely access to healthcare, hopefully take a load off our healthcare system, and emergency departments. And I've always said for many years, pharmacies should be healthcare hubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe the ideal pharmacist? Like, what would the ideal pharmacist look like besides just doing the checks, dispensing the medication? What else do you think an ideal pharmacist should look like?
An ideal pharmacist should have the ability to have time to educate the patient about their health. So if you come in as Alan, you've got a cold, and you say, I think I have the flu, then the pharmacist should be able to ask you the right questions, educate you about your immune system, help you understand that having a virus doesn't mean you should be on antibiotics because that kills bacteria.
Yeah. Big common misconception.
Correct. Yeah. How a virus replicates in the body and how we can support the immune system so the virus doesn't replicate as rapidly. How sleep is important because it affects your immunity. Hydration is important because your cells are getting dehydrated from being sick, and it'll help you with the recovery. That's what, and that's the simplest form, right? Like, I mean, I've got pharmacists now who are doing sleep apnea consults in the pharmacy, pharmacists who are prescribing integrative health medications for patients, and that's been life-changing in itself for the community of Pascoe Vale.
I think that's great. When I was in the health field, so I was on the side of nutrition.
Yeah.
As a nutritionist. That was my sort of direction, dietitian, nutritionist. So I was always fascinated with the medical side because the medical side has always historically, whether it's Australia or America, a lot of people are starting to realize the medical industry or the pharmaceutical industry is quite scary with how much power they have over people, right? Because once the doctor prescribes, it's pretty much automatic income, right? Automatic sales, automatic whatever. So there's always been a discussion of, do we really even need to take that much medication? From what you were just saying just then, you'd love to educate the customer and be like, hey, you might not even need to take this medicine. We have a huge issue of antibiotic resistance nowadays.
And even antidepressants.
So
I mean, the amount of, I have nothing against antidepressants, but have we had the conversation with the patient that vitamin D, how is your
maybe
vitamin
they need a
D?
bit of sun.
Or maybe they need to, blood results, show that they're in a good, their vitamin D levels are good, but that's the average, right? Maybe they need a higher dose of vitamin D. Maybe you should be. I mean, my vitamin D levels are great, but I take 2 to 3 capsules a day because you don't see enough sun in Melbourne.
Correct.
And
so you guys barely get sun. If you have sun, you should go buy a lottery ticket,
Yeah, and have we had those conversations? Have we had a conversation around, are you sleeping well? Because obviously if you're not, your anxiety levels exacerbated during the day because your body's releasing all that cortisol. How are you managing that? I just feel like the doctors are so pressed on time that it's a quick in and out as well.
Okay, cool. Tick, tick, tick. All right, this medication, go.
Yeah, but that's an opportunity for us to educate the patients. However, you're right in saying that sometimes patients come in and you give them that advice, and for us, it isn't about products or recommend, product selling. It's more about educating the patient. So we believe in dispensing our knowledge. And then you get, I'll speak to my doctor about this.
Yeah.
Even when we speak about what probiotics do to your microbiome in the gut and how they're going to kill your healthy bacteria, are you taking a probiotic? I'll check with my doctor, and our doctors having those conversations. But they may not be having those conversations, but this is where the ideal pharmacist can.
Yeah.
And this is the opportunity, and that's where we can bridge the gap. So I believe in working with the doctors as opposed to taking away from doctors to help the patient on a holistic way.
Yeah, okay. I agree absolutely with that, because the scariest part about understanding the pharmaceutical industry is how aggressive the push is from obviously pharmaceutical reps to push certain medications. And I mean, look at the epidemics that's sweeping across Europe and America, and you have all the fentanyl issue and all of that sort of stuff, right, with abuse of substances and overprescription of certain opioids and stuff like that. It's
That's scary.
it's very, very scary. Whereas in a lot of situations, like you said, you don't need to take these antibiotics, whereas the default prescription is to take the antibiotics. Whereas you could have just been like, hey, maybe you just need a bit of vitamin C, or you just need to go get some sun, get some vitamin D in you, or maybe you should try this and that. I think a lot of the health industry is quite old, like 50, 60, 70 years old, very old systems. They need a big refresh in terms of how they approach human health from a holistic point of view, rather than being super specialized. And I love how you guys are slowly trying to implement that, because there always used to be a debate between me and going, hey, maybe you guys should take some supplements instead of just taking medicine all the time. Maybe you should go outside and, get some sun or get some exercise, or maybe you should try to change your diet before you start to pile on the, hypertension medicine and, all of that sort of stuff.
Correct.
So
yeah.
it's hard.
It's about educating people, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like people are getting there slowly. We are a bit behind, like you said, but we're slowly getting there. So imagine doing that at every pharmacy.
Yeah.
Imagine every pharmacy in Australia was doing that, educating patients on their health and what they need. I'm not talking about pushing supplements to patients.
Yeah.
It's the lifestyle
about
advice.
what they need. It's about what they need,
Yeah, it's
right?
very
Yeah.
individualized approach as well. Like, I
Correct.
wouldn't just go and follow one influencer on Instagram or
Well, I mean,
TikTok.
the craziest, have you seen that guy? What's his name? Brian Johnson, the guy who's reversing aging right now? The guy who's trying to be immortal? That's a very interesting
Wow,
one.
no, I've got to look him up.
Have a look. He's like, I don't know how old he is. I think he's 50, but his biological markers are showing like 21 or something.
Oh my
right
God.
now.
I've had someone message me going, can you help me live till 120?
Yeah, I think that sort of stuff is definitely of interest to people, and that doesn't come from medication. I mean, we'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Medication is great for a lot of situations if there's acute issues or
If you need it,
stuff.
you've got to have it.
Absolutely,
It's different.
You can't
right?
avoid it.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't avoid it. You shouldn't downplay it if you need it. But I think in a most general sense, you don't need to abuse medication to make yourself feel good.
No, and you see that a lot in weight loss industry as well.
Oh,
That's
weight
a
loss is
$600 billion industry.
Yeah.
And that's one of my passions, educating people about how to help their bodies lose weight the healthy way, how to regulate your hormones, and it's discipline, it's that mindset. But obviously people will perform better when they've got that accountability. So someone that they can come back to. And I encourage that a lot in the pharmacy. Feel free to come in. The consults are free. We don't charge for our time. It's not like seeing a doctor where you're getting charged $90 or whatever it may be for the consult. So come in, talk to us whenever you need to. If you want to come, do a weigh-in and have a quick conversation.
I think a lot of
quite
people
passionate
just
about it.
don't know what the capacity of a pharmacist is.
No,
That kind of makes
and
sense.
that's very true.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had to do a reset a bit in Melbourne.
I don't think people know what you can actually ask or
No,
speak
and
to a
yet we're
pharmacist
the
about.
most accessible healthcare professionals. I see people because we're like, can you walk through a medical centre and speak to a doctor?
You cannot.
No, you cannot. But you can go into a pharmacy and speak to a pharmacist. Even if they're behind the dispensary, you can still request to speak to a pharmacist. And they're your most accessible healthcare professionals, and we're ranked up pretty up high in terms of trust.
Yeah.
I've seen people come into Pascoe Vale who have gone through domestic violence, crying in the pharmacy, literally, you know, like this is how much we're trusted.
Yeah.
You know, people who have just cut themselves or have had a fall, all sorts of different things. You know,
Well,
mental health crisis.
Yeah, correct. That's a
I've seen
big
them
one.
in the pharmacy. It's huge.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
sort of questions can we walk up to the counter and just ask a pharmacist?
Anything and everything, health related.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because even if we don't know it, we'll find the right
Resources for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll look it up, and if we need to refer, we will. So I think that's really important to make clear to the public that reach out to your pharmacist, go and speak to them.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, right? Because most people, when you go into a pharmacy, you're there for either, like, if you go to a generic pharmacist or pharmacy, you're just there for a lot of the retail items. But also at the same time, if you're there for a script, you just go grab a script and you leave.
Yeah,
There's no hardcore conversation. Usually it's the old people I find, they're just there for like a 15-minute chat.
they love it.
Yeah,
they love it. They
I
become
see
a part
that.
of our extended family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the younger ones, like our generation, they just go in, grab their stuff and leave.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Although
whether they
I
find
have
it
had
embarrassing.
people say, you know, if I just wanted a quick buy off the shelf, I'll go to the discount. And if I wanted to have an advice and a proper conversation, I will go to the pharmacy that's independent, and I know I'll be able to speak to the pharmacist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll just need to make more people aware of the fact that you can go and speak to your pharmacist about any health conditions. I mean, a lot of people still don't know that we can prescribe for urinary tract infections.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I get people in the pharmacy saying, "Oh my God, I've got a UTI, and can I use Ural, or you know, because I can't get into my doctor till the end of the week."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, let's sit down and have a consult.
Oh, I didn't
We
know
might be
that
able
either.
to help." Yeah. there
Yeah,
you
so
go.
wait, so pharmacists can, based on their own sort of findings, if they need to prescribe certain medications, they can do that, or
We approve for 4 at the moment.
Okay.
And then this is in Victoria.
yeah.
And then over the next couple of years, we'll be approved for 22 different conditions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's,
So if someone comes with a cold, you can be like, okay, cool, we can actually prescribe you with XYZ for a cold.
yeah.
Or if I have UTI, I can get this for UTI. If I have
Yeah.
this and
Oral
this and this.
contraceptive pill as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
continuation of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So which is great for a lot of young females, you
Yeah.
know, who can't
And-
get into their doctors.
Yeah, and are pharmacists well trained enough for these health conditions or to identify and
They
diagnose?
have to go through certain courses to be able to
New
do.
training.
Yeah.
And
new
updated
training.
training. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, that's
yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I know of the doctors, they don't really learn much about things like nutrition or food or diet as they're going through university. They might touch on it for like one subject
Yeah.
out of their entire 10 years of study.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there was always a debate on campus back in the day with all the people that are studying med, because a lot of what we did from a nutrition point of view was like a pre-med kind
Yeah.
of course as well. So for us, is like if we wanted to be a dietitian, we've done pretty much all the prerequisites for med in that process too.
It's such a good combination to
Yeah.
have between with a medical degree and then imagine a pharmacy degree with that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Imagine like pharmacy plus nutrition plus doctor's degree
Yeah.
combined. You'll be in uni for 25 years, but you know, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But you'll come out the ultimate doctor, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the time when you just study either one of the three, sometimes you miss out on a lot of things. So yeah, it's very interesting. The healthcare world is very, very interesting.
It is. It really
Is there anything in your experience now of the pharmacy space which people might find like surprising? Something that you might not realize? Because
I think people are surprised that they
Yeah.
can come into the pharmacy for all these different things.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised as
Yeah.
it is, you know, in
Yeah.
that as well. Like, because I think for a lot of people, the pharmacy is quite intimidating. Besides, like, you look at the Chemist Warehouse, just colors, and you go in, you might buy your protein shake and your face mask from the same place, right? Or you're just there for a bargain. Yeah, I get it, right? People want the cheapest of this and cheapest of that. Yeah, go to Chemist Warehouse. But I don't think people actually realize the power that a pharmacist might have, or a power that a pharmacist might be able to do for you.
I think this is why it's very important as a pharmacist to be a part of your community. When I went to the football club and sponsored the football club and offered to do educational seminars, they said to me, we have not seen a pharmacist here for over 20 years. And that pharmacy is only across the road.
Yeah, wow.
Where I'm working out of, that's been there for over 37 years.
Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think a lot of a lot of pharmacists don't get involved with their community as much?
Yeah,
You
I'm
think
not
just
sure. I wonder that all
no
the
time
time.
or just
Probably no
can't be
time,
bothered?
and I don't think it's I can't be bothered. I think it's just no time. Yeah, I think you just gotta if something you're passionate about, you make time, right?
Do we have a pharmacist shortage?
We do.
We do?
I remember having to hire a pharmacist in Griffith. I was pregnant with Dahlia and I almost gave birth on the pharmacy floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's always been a pharmacist shortage, and quality pharmacists are hard to find as well. But yeah, and I think we are struggling more and more because people are leaving the profession.
Why? Why is that?
The pay is not the greatest. Pharmacy doesn't pay.
Well,
all that
people,
great.
yeah, I would imagine,
Yeah.
and I don't know, right? I would imagine pharmacists get paid decently. What's it actually like? What's the process like of when you go to school, you get your degree?
Yeah.
Do you need a master's to become a pharmacist?
No, so it's 4 years
Yeah.
and then a year of internship.
Okay, so about
Yeah.
5. Or 1 year of
about
prac,
5,
roughly.
unless people are doing the masters, then they've
That's
done another
2.
degree. Yeah.
So you become a pharmacist. People would expect in society, you would expect the pharmacist makes quite a decent amount of money.
What do you think a decent amount of money is?
Look, I
for a
think a starting
pharmacist?
pharmacist, I mean, freshly finished your degree, you're getting into the industry, I was going to expect them to get 120. I know the number is not roughly around there
Yeah,
sometimes.
as an intern, no, you'll be getting less than that. And I
Yeah.
think if you're a managing pharmacist, it'd be around 120.
What's an intro, like what's a new pharmacist
And it depends,
kinda get?
obviously. You get more in the country.
Of course,
And a lot of country pharmacies will give that pharmacist home as well, or a car. Yeah.
Some sort of a bonus or
Yeah.
appeal for them to come.
Yeah.
So what does a pharmacist on average make then? If you're not, if you're
Yeah,
just a
you're
normal
talking about
pharmacist?
$50 an hour.
Okay, so
Yeah,
about
I know. I've got friends who have been pharmacists for 20 years who are on 45 an hour.
which translates to trying to do the maths.
Yeah, times 38. Help.
Oh, so about 90 grand a year, 80 grand a year, 80 to 90 grand a
After
year.
20 years of being a pharmacist, it's
Yeah.
quite.
That's crazy. We're
It is,
talking
isn't
we're
it?
talking $80,000 to $90,000 a year for
Yep.
20-year experienced
Yep.
pharmacists.
So I think, and the
genuinely-
pressure and
yeah.
the workload and the liability, I think that's why a lot of
That's pretty
pharmacists
intense.
have.
Like I
left.
genuinely thought that they would be on like the 150s to 180s. Like, you know, they're living it up.
180 would be great.
Yeah.
200, I say.
Yeah. Why not? The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
I'm gonna get shot by so many pharmacy owners.
Well, I guess that's why a lot of pharmacists dream of owning their own pharmacies, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
'cause
mean,
that's where you make the
not
money.
easy. Yeah, you make the money, but it's also hard work.
Of
It's,
course.
you know, if you're not willing to work almost 24/7 at
Yeah.
the start, especially, be innovative, grow it, inject money into it as well, because it may need a refit,
Yeah.
might need a
Or the
consult
inventory.
room. Yeah, the stock. How are you going to improve it? Because you're paying what 6% bank loan interest.
Yeah.
Interest rates now. What
Yeah.
are they?
Or more.
Or more? Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
for a business loan, could be more.
And so you've got to see, and at the moment, pharmacies are going at 12% return on investment. And
And they're not cheap to start.
no, we're talking millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know people are paying
And that's-
ridiculous prices.
Is that franchises for millions or is
Oh,
it independents for
It
millions?
doesn't matter. Like
Both.
if people are after that pharmacy, there will be a bidding war.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just heard of a pharmacy that sold for $1.1 million more than
Asking.
the asking price.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And this is like a small independent.
I don't think it was a small independent. I think it was just people wanted it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. In a good location, and yeah, when you've got the cash, you can pay
Good money, huh?
good money. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just I think the pharmacy business is a money printer. right? People always need health. People always
You'll always need
you know,
help.
need
Even
medicine.
look what happened in COVID. Pharmacies were
correct.
thriving. Even economical crisis.
You still need
You're gonna
medication.
you need your medication
Yep.
because it's
Can't
sad to
stop.
say, but people will go through depression,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll rely more on your medications.
Mm-hmm.
So in the sense of a business, is a secure business. You
Yeah.
just got to run it right. We're saying this, and West Farmers yesterday announced the closure of, what was it, 52 or 54 pharmacies.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. We're yet to find out if they're Priceline or what they are. But yeah, which is terrible.
Yeah. Wow.
They'd gone into administration. It's like, I can't remember the last time I've ever heard of that happening.
Wow. I did not even see
Businesses
that
are
news.
tough,
It is. It is. Right now is a very,
Rent
very tough
is
time.
through the roof. If you want to buy a pharmacy in a shopping centre, you're looking at... I looked at a pharmacy one day. They were paying $850,000 in rent with
Jesus.
CPI. Yep, that's scary. That number is scary.
Of course, it's almost $1 million a year in rent.
Yeah, and 1.1 in wages, and
Yeah.
and the stock holding was crazy. So
To get into
Yeah.
pharmacy is definitely not easy. And I guess that's why a lot of people don't want to be a pharmacist as well. Like, if you really think about how much you get paid as a pharmacist and how much money
that's
you'll need
the
to
issue.
save
Yeah,
to be able to even then go into opening or owning your own pharmacy,
yeah.
it's pretty hard. But
Yeah.
then you hear of these stories of these families who have like 9 pharmacies or like 15 pharmacies, and
Yeah.
they're printing money. But
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been
It's
doing it,
insane.
obviously, to have that many, you would have bought them.
a long time ago.
Yeah. And especially if they've been in the, a father who's a pharmacist, a son who's a pharmacist.
Yeah,
I mean, that's great.
multi-generational.
Yeah.
Multi-generational. Do your kids want to be pharmacists?
Dahlia does.
Really?
Yeah. She wants to do criminal, what did she say? Criminal law barrister / pharmacist. I don't know, the
What?
combination. I'm just like, oh
She
my
wants to
god.
be a lawyer and a pharmacist?
She might change her mind by the time she finishes year 12. But knowing
Yeah.
my daughter, she'll probably add a 3rd degree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and wants to go to France to study how to be a pastry chef. Yeah, but I think it'll be great for her.
Good for her.
Someone said to her one time, it's good if you become a pharmacist, you'll start from your mother's shoulders. If you do something else, you'll start from the ground
Start
up.
from the ground up.
I really like that, actually.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are always the type that, oh, you're fed for a silver spoon, or like you knew someone. Or I think, to be honest, in life, just take advantage of what you have. Like, life's a hard enough race as it is.
You know what? And they haven't been fed with a golden spoon. My kids, they've worked in the pharmacy. Well, they've had to grow up in pharmacies, and
Yeah.
now I put her to work. She does the dusting and the cleaning, and
Which is good.
it's
Start them
great.
young. The younger they
her
start, the
level
better.
of empathy as well, and that connection she has with patients. And even the other day, she was volunteering at the aged care facility.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Yeah, she loves it. She loves being able to make a positive impact on someone's life. She thrives on that.
Yeah.
She's pretty much a mini me. Lucky for
With
me.
she's got a bit of attitude, bit of sass.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking applicants for a therapist for when she's 13.
Oh no, that's crazy. So, have you seen any sort of example of bad pharmaceutical care or pharmacy care? In your years as a pharmacist, and now obviously being a leading pharmacist, right? Have you seen how the system is broken from your perspective? What do you think it is?
Oh, God, you're going to get me in trouble for this.
Gonna get you in trouble.
Who am I going to upset out there?
I know. We'll keep it on the edge. We'll just be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Company X, that's you.
It happens in every industry, I'm sure, when people don't follow, do things by the books, or I hear it all the time.
Is there a lot of like industrial guidelines, or there are certain corporate players that set certain rules, or is that kind of how it works? Because that's where all the conspiracy is around, right? It's like, the pharmaceutical industry, there's all these quotas to hit, you get all these sales bonuses.
I
and
don't
this
know.
and
I
that.
guess, I don't know. I've never worked as a rep for a company
Yeah.
in the pharmaceutical industry. The only role I held in a pharmaceutical industry was being in charge of drug safety for Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't sales based. And yeah, I'm not not quite sure. I can't comment on that, but I'd say they would have to hit certain
quotas.
I'm sure they're not allowed to push their product onto doctors though.
Okay.
You know, I
'Cause
think
I
what
think they
the
can do
max,
that in America, though. That's a
I
big
think
issue.
so. Well, I don't know about perhaps in another country, but I was under the understanding that you can't do that here, and doctors can't be biased to a specific company either. Like they can't even gift them anything anymore. That all changed. The only thing that they do is hold educational seminars. These drug companies, which I find to be helpful, but yet I'm a health professional, so I will make a decision for that patient
Based on your own knowledge anyway.
Exactly, based on what that patient needs.
Yeah.
I don't have a certain bias towards a specific brand within my pharmacy when it comes to my patients, even when it comes to integrative health prescribing. Yeah, so I would like to think that it's the same across
Hopefully.
board. Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, I got another one, which is going to be pretty interesting for you. So when we were in China, we talked about this a lot. There's a lot of automation talk, right? A lot of AI talk.
Yes.
And we discussed those dispensary robots and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to put one of those in the pharmacy.
Yeah, I think they're like 3-4 mil, aren't they?
No, they've dropped it. They were years ago about 600-700, but now that you can get them for 140.
Oh, really?
If you want a really incredible one, you can get, for 250. That does all your expiry checks and.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's
still
two
expensive.
people's wage, right?
Yeah,
and you pay it over time, and I think they're worth it to help with automation. All my team's all excited for it.
Yeah.
We don't have one. They are asking, when are we getting one in?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because they know
cool.
it improves workflow and efficiency.
And it improves accuracy as well, reduces a lot of human error, I would say.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking at scaling and growing the business, you need automation. I'm not scared of AI.
Okay, that's cool. What do you think pharmacies would need to do then, or pharmacists? What do you think pharmacists would need to do to kind of consider those, right? Because the fear is always, robot's going to take our job, AI is going to take our job.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that.
There
And I
has to be a
say that
transition.
to a lot of pharmacists as well. AI is only going to improve or allow us to have more time with our patients, because nothing will replace that human connection, and that's what people need. People love that human connection. Why do you think people come into the pharmacy and sit down, for 5-10 minutes? Like a lot of them can. I think drive-through pharmacies don't even do well because people love to go into the pharmacy. From what I see. So I don't think AI would replace that human connection. I think it will improve our interaction with patients.
Yep.
There will be tools that will help us improve people's lives better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated, right? Because how an industry decides to react to the technology will really ultimately determine how much they thrive or sink, right? So I think pharmacy is one of these industries where it's going to be a massive impact when these robots get implemented, because 2 pharmacists' salary, you get a robot and it lasts for 15 years. So you've paid once and it covers 15 years.
Yeah, but they won't be checking scripts. So the robots have existed for a while now, for a long time, in terms of, like the rower that shoots, so you dispense and then the medication comes out.
Yeah.
And then the dispensary assistant will stick the sticker on that box and hand it over to the pharmacist to check. If anything, what may happen is this robot will stick the sticker on the box.
Okay,
and then the pharmacist will hand it out.
Yeah.
And if you're scaling, you'll find another role for your pharmacy assistant.
Yeah.
They might move on to doing, I don't know, aged care facility role.
Yeah.
It could be something. I like to think I will be keeping all my staff with when that is implemented, because we are growing. And it'll improve speed, efficiency, and free up people's time. So, the response is important. You're right. So do we just shelter our staff from AI? No, we've embraced it. So we've been doing educational seminars around it. Yeah, and taking that fear away from AI.
Okay, that's good.
Especially older pharmacists, like when you have older pharmacists in there.
They'd be freaking out.
Yeah, they'd be like, okay.
Is it going to take my job when you put this machine in?
Like ChatGPT was like this thing that no one wanted to talk about. And then after we did the AI talk, everybody talks about it now.
Everyone starts using it.
Yeah.
Okay, very fascinating. Well, what do you think's next for you then? You've gone on to do all of these sort of things. You've done great things. I think you've like reached the pinnacle of what it means to be a pharmacist in Australia, and the next step is obviously
Oh,
business
thank you. I
owner.
don't think I have yet, but I think there's always room for improvement. I'd like to study more. I want to finish my acronym course so I can do more integrative health consults.
Yeah.
And I want to, get into ownerships. I'd like to be able to do more mentoring and public speaking and reshaping the industry in a positive way.
I think that's very good.
Could
Very,
be
very good.
Could be product design. I don't know.
Do you think there is a lack of good products inside of a pharmacy?
Yes. There are
Really?
certain things that I'm like, oh my God, we need a better product.
Why
So that
is
makes
that?
me
What-
innovative.
Yeah, what leads you to think that this product is not
The
so
patient's
great?
needs. When you've got a patient who comes in and is frustrated and no product has helped them, you just really want to think outside of the box and think, what can I do that would help that patient, and makes me
Are you
research
saying
into it.
more like the medical products, or are you saying more like the retail-based products?
Oh, well, a bit of both. We do a lot of our products in our pharmacy are health focused anyway. Like
Okay.
we don't do makeup or gifts. The weight loss industry, for example, like people. Are we supporting our patients enough when it comes to the use of Mounjaro and Ozempic? Are they,
Okay.
could we have better products than that? And that just, it's always like a hot topic for me. I'm always thinking about it. How can we support our patients better? Because it's
Well, I think
such
that's a good question to be constantly asking yourself. That's
Yeah,
that's the
because-
core of entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's good. So actually, you just mentioned a really good one. I didn't even think about it until just then, which is you talked about Ozempic.
Yeah.
Ozempic's a huge one.
Yeah.
Massive topic. Semaglutide, right? So
Yeah.
for a lot of people, Ozempic is a weight loss drug, which is super popular. Probably the most popular weight loss drug in the last,
Ozempic
decade,
and Mounjaro.
multi-decade.
Yes. Yeah. And
Massive.
I've got nothing against it as a pharmacist.
Yeah, I've got
Like,
friends
I
on it.
think-
I've got friends on it. It's helped them a bit, but
Yeah.
How does it work in Australia? Is it only through pharmacy that you can get Ozempic?
Correct. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've heard of
'Cause in the
compound.
US, a nurse can just come to your house and just inject you. And
Really?
yeah,
Yeah. No,
There's
you've got to have a
private- there's
prescription.
Private companies that do Ozempic,
Really?
like semaglutide, not Ozempic the brand, but
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
private companies.
No, in Australia, you need to have a prescription from a doctor,
Uh-huh.
and then you go to the pharmacy and get that dispensed. And for a lot of our patients, we support them through it, so we help them with injecting it weekly.
Okay, so you inject for them as well.
Yeah, we do that. Some of our patients are just scared of the needle
Fair
or scared of injecting themselves.
Yeah.
But I use that as an opportunity to educate them on muscle mass loss.
Yeah,
We're seeing a lot of them are malnourished because
of Ozempic.
Yeah, because it affects the way food moves through your system, so it slows down that movement of food, and then you're eating less as well, so you're
Yeah.
not getting that nutrition. The absorption of the vitamins and minerals is being affected.
So would you
People
need
are
to
tired.
supplement whilst you're taking
Yes.
Ozempic as well, for
Yeah,
sure?
multivitamin as
Yeah.
a minimum, vitamin D definitely.
Omega-3s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm big on magnesium. I think
Magnesium's
you
the
can't
best.
go without magnesium.
K2,
Your body.
magnesium,
Yeah.
all good stuff.
Do you take
Vitamin D.
magnesium?
I take everything.
Do you know your body uses magnesium for over 300 biochemical processes?
Magnesium's one of my favorites.
Same. Yeah,
so
I talk
always
about it a lot.
Yeah. I take it with so magnesium. I take vitamin K, vitamin K, K1, K2.
Yeah.
Magnesium, vitamin D.
Good.
I take my multis. I take
Yep.
a bunch of different antioxidants, polyphenols.
Fantastic. You're gonna live till 120.
I love my supplements.
Yeah. Are you
I've
on
always been
protein
in it.
as well?
Protein, not so much. No,
Yeah.
no protein, no creatine for me.
Yeah.
I'll only take it if I'm back in the gym,
Yeah.
but I haven't been back in the gym for a while. Yeah,
I love collagen.
yeah. Collagen, fair enough, is a good one.
And that's a form of, obviously, protein.
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Collagen's
so-
always a good one for the girls. They love
Yeah.
it. So.
Yeah, I do collagen and protein with my probiotics and
I love
magnesium.
my probiotics.
Yep.
Probiotics are one of my favorite. Especially when I travel, I'm always stacked in probiotics.
Yes.
My whole suitcase probiotics.
Yes. Did you take it to China? Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Every time you get an
same.
upset stomach, some probiotics is definitely
Yeah.
going to help.
Yeah, I take probiotics every day.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I forget to eat.
Yeah.
I live life in the fast lane. Literally, and then, it gets to 12 o'clock and I'm like, I haven't had breakfast. I'm starving.
Happens. I don't eat sometimes.
Yeah.
My first meal was like 6 p.m. Today, my first meal was at 3. So it's
Yes.
very
Yeah,
normal
I have
for me.
to. I have those days as well.
Very normal. Very
Yeah.
normal.
And then I get in the car to go to kids pick up, and that's when I'm eating as I'm picking them up. And they
Yeah.
get in the car and they go, "Oh, that looks so good. Can I have some?"
And then there goes half
And
your
they
breakfast.
take my wrap.
Well, that's your food.
Yeah. So that's what happens when you're a parent. You become selfless.
I know. How crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, getting towards the end of the show today, I want to we've touched on quite a few different random topics, and we've jumped across like discrimination to your success as a well-renowned pharmacist in Australia now. What would you say? This is a question I like to ask everyone, right? Like if you were to reflect on your life, and I see life as a game, and in this game of life, we go through different levels and different stages. But just like in Mario, there's different shortcuts. You might be able to jump through a pipe here and end up in another world or whatever it is. There's a lot of cheat codes in life. There's no real cheats that you can do to skip certain areas of life, but there are certain cheat codes that you can use to that you've learned now, which you're going to apply to yourself if you were younger. If you were to go back and same thing, just like how you're raising Dahlia right now, what would be the one thing that you have found in your last X amount of years of existence to get to where you are today that you would say is the most pivotal thing for you to help you get to where you are today? So if you could share this with Dahlia to help her reproduce, if not, supersede you or surpass you in achievement, but do it in half the time. Maybe when she's 21 years old, she gets to reap in all the glory. What would you share with her?
I often say don't shrink to fit in. Like for me, I feel like for so long, I buried a lot of my dreams and my ambition to please others. And, whether it be because, you want to be happy in a marriage, but you're not really happy because you're not fulfilling your ambition and dreams. I often say to Dahlia, don't let anyone dampen your drive, because I know that fulfills her achievement and, and it isn't about the money, it's about that career growth or aspirations or,
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a very powerful one. Don't let anyone dampen those dreams is a very, very powerful one. Because it is true. Oftentimes we try to live in other people's expectations of us that we kind of forget what was the reason why we were trying to fulfill what we were trying to fulfill in the first place. And
and sometimes these expectations are cultural as well. Like,
correct.
Middle Eastern culture is one of, they're very protective of their women, and I was lucky enough that my dad allowed me to go to Melbourne and study, but so many girls aren't privileged in that way. And I won't be clippering my daughter's wings either.
Yeah, that's a very big one, because it happens a lot. A lot of people sacrifice themselves to satisfy others, only to realize that it never satisfied themselves in the first place. And it's a hard life to live.
It is a very hard life to live, and
is.
that's why I always say I'm living my best life now.
I love that.
Yeah,
You're
I
living,
really am.
living for yourself.
Yeah, and I'm living for others as well. Like I give a lot to people, to my patients, to my teams, to my kids, but I'm so fulfilled in everything I'm doing as well, and I'm doing what I love to do. I never feel like I'm working when I'm at work.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and because I'm constantly being challenged as well, but that's my personality. I need that. I need to be challenged. I need to feel like I'm growing and I'm learning. So
yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. So Sara, where do people find you on the socials if they want to follow along with the journey and as you grow?
Yeah. Well, I've just learned how to use TikTok.
Welcome to the TikTok.
Welcome to the TikTok world. My daughter's
Welcome to the TikTok world.
And active on all platforms.
Yeah.
I am on LinkedIn and Instagram. So the.sara.murdock.
Yeah, Sara, Sara, right?
Correct. Murdock, Murdock. rather than CH, and LinkedIn under Sara Murdock. TikTok is, oh my God, Sara with a double A dot Murdock. I don't know. I just created the profile for fun, and it seems to be taking off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's actually quite fun. But every time I scroll
Yeah.
on my TikTok, it's all guinea pigs. So I don't know what's wrong with the algorithms.
All guinea pigs?
But
Like actual guinea pigs?
I just actually see guinea pigs everywhere because we've got guinea pigs.
Oh, it knows.
Well, I don't
it
know
knows.
if that's what my kids have been playing with it.
Yeah.
And Facebook as well. So Sara
amazing.
Murdock. Yep.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining us on the show, and thanks
Thank
for coming all
you.
the way from Melbourne. It's been fun.
Thank you for
From
having
China
me.
to here, right?
I
We met in
know.
China, so
Yeah, it's just been such a pleasure meeting you. I love your drive. I love your
Appreciate
spirit. I love what you're doing with your space. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Thanks for sharing.
I hope you have enjoyed that episode of Point 01. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along on all our socials at Point 01 Podcast to watch all of the shorts again. We release an episode every single week, and we hope you will join us as we continue to explore the minds of those who make up the 0.01%. Until next time, keep hustling. I'm your host, Alan Fu. I'll see you on the next episode.